I guess one question I would have, it is difficult for people to know how to respond to people like you who have gone through a situation like this. Could you speak to that? How should people respond? How can we best respond to someone who's gone through a similar tragedy to best support them?
It's been humbling, the support that my family has received from our community. Truly, truly humbling. And so what I would say is, if somebody is in this situation, to let them know in whatever way is genuine to you, but to let them know either that you're praying for them. I am not a cook. So when there's a meal train, I'm out. But I will do other things for people. So I would not offer to bring food because nobody wants my cooking. But there's other ways we can serve others in these situations. I've gotten, people will just send sweet gifts. They'll just a text, showing up and not asking, telling people, hey, I'm there for you. Let me know if you need anything. I'm never going to let anybody know. That's just my personality, that I need something, right? That is, it's difficult enough to be in this situation than to go ask somebody for something on top of it. So just show up. Like Lauren Tucker. Let me give you a quick example. Sorry. When the day after it happened, Lauren about broke down my door because she couldn't get a hold of me. And she came and she just took over. Her and my daughter, and they started just, I'm usually kind of the one in charge. And she just took over. People just kind of took over for me. They called the pastor. They helped. We had a lot of friends that just stepped in. Mm-hmm. And so you don't want to, you don't want to do nothing. I'll say that, but even just sending somebody a card in the mail, when you know that somebody's thinking about you, that somebody's praying for you, that somebody, brought you food, just do something, and you don't even if you just say, I don't have the words, but I am praying for you. I even meet people that I have since befriended someone whose son was murdered 2 years ago. And we have developed a friendship, and I have a hard time sometimes knowing what to say to her because it's a different scenario. And so I find it hard to understand her pain, even though we have a similar pain, that we both, have sons that are in heaven as teenagers. And so something, I do find that the Lord's timing in it as well. He sees when we need support. So sometimes, like, for example, I'll give you one more example. On Mother's Day, a lot of times, and I'll say this too, the day before a big holiday for that family is usually, typically for me, the worst, because you're anticipating that next day. Like Noah's birthday was April 15th. So the 14th was pretty tough. That day was also tough, but we celebrated with his friends, and everything looks different. But knowing that about a lot of people, but the gentleman that delivers he works for the district and delivers my board books on the Fridays of the month, the night of, I would have conversations with him when he would come by, and sometimes I gave him little things and whatnot, and just not because we have to or need to. That's just how him and I, the relationship that we had with one another. He created this beautiful stained glass for me and dropped it by the night before Mother's Day. And it was one of the most painful evenings for me. And for someone, and his note was, I wanted to give back all the kindness that you've shown me. And I've seen him, once a month for a couple of years, and just developing relationships with people, whether they're, in your life for a moment, or they're in it for long term, and how you treat people. I believe God rewards us for that too, and so just those things are so special. But I believe that God knew how difficult that evening was going to be for me. And all of a sudden the doorbell rings at 9:15 at night, and he walks away, and there's something on my porch. It just, so it's God's timing, also knowing that if you couldn't send that card to somebody that week, but you send it 2 weeks later, God knew that when you were going to do it, and he knew when I would need it or that person would need it. So I could go on and on, because I'm so humbled and so grateful for all the love that we've been shown, and how God continues to be so near to our family. So just do something. I hope that.
Do something. I think that's the word that we need to hear. We tend to want to have a lot of words, right? We feel like we need to say something, but sometimes we don't need words. We need presence, or we need presence by doing something, right? You've got the stained glass. That's a presence now in your life that says this person cared enough to show their support in this way. So I think that's just a tremendous thing to do. And as you said, it doesn't have to be something large. It can be just a card, or just anything like that. I think that's wonderful advice. I appreciate you sharing that. I think that's helpful for me personally, and I'm sure it'll be helpful for anybody who listens, because those are difficult situations for us to be in.